Welcome, everybody, to the Mighty Nerd Podcast, where we put the try and try hard. Or harder. Yeah. That's what I'm...
Harder.
Yeah.
Always harder.
Harder. Always harder. With us, we have FistTruck.
Let me tell you what I didn't have to try hard doing today. Shitting. Came out just like an anime turd. It was crazy.
Nice.
Well done.
Nice.
And we also have Solid Snarf. What's good, Solid?
Why, hello there.
I'm HeyyyyyTony, and today we're going to be talking about Sifu.
And for those wondering right now, it's a cozy 87 degrees in here and climbing. So my camera's not on because fuck that. I'm not doing it. I
don't blame you.
I'm melting.
Man, suck on an ice cube. Turn it on.
You suck on these, man. You can't see right now, but I just have my hands on my sides. That's all.
So Sifu is made by Slow Clap and H2 Interactive. It's a 2022 beat 'em up. I have to say, what was you guys' first impression of Sifu when it first dropped?
Oh,
fighting game of the year.
I mean, as soon as I saw the trailer for it, like maybe a couple of months before, I was like, "Yo, I'm pre-ordering.
I want this. Yeah,
I want
same.
it.
I felt the same.
It's everything. Like I overhyped it, and then maybe it didn't live up to that overhype, but it was still a good damn game.
I don't think I overhyped it, but I was excited for it, and it didn't disappoint me. I loved it from start to finish. So much so that I went through and played it on the hardest difficulty, and then didn't realize that I think it was months later, maybe a year. I don't know when the update came out, but when it did drop, I came back to it pleasantly surprised that they had like some Matrix type Smith shit in there that you could do. There's all types of challenges now. It reminded me like the gauntlet from Sekiro.
Yeah.
Cool. I was pretty late to the party, as in whenever they put it for free on PlayStation Plus, which was like 2 months ago or something. That's when I played it. But when I saw the game when it came out, my first thought was like, that's Absolver.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many people here have played Absolver, but I played it a bit. It was pretty fun. I wasn't nuts about it, but it was solid.
Yeah.
And it looked good. It looked good. I just remember it being on the fucking thing for best fighting game of the year in 2022. I'm like, that's not a fighting game.
20. All right. So what was on the docket for 2022? There wasn't a lot. There was a lot.
Yeah. But just seeing it there, it's just like, oh, okay. I mean, listen, maybe you just don't need to have 5 nominees. Like, that's it, because it's not a fucking fighting game. But played it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And that was kind of my experience with the game for the most part. Yeah. That's all I got for now, because we have a structure this episode, and I'm gonna shut my fucking mouth and not jump to other parts before we get there.
We have a structure. Oh, glory.
Well, maybe we'll have a structure next week. I don't know about this week.
I wrote my notes in structured format. You fuck. We're doing this.
I mean, if you have a structured format, okay, fine.
I thought we were doing levels. We were doing levels.
No, I mean, we can do levels. Fine. I put down levels. We can do levels, but this is the way we're going about this is, whoever chooses the game is like the dude. He's the dude.
Yeah, we'll do that for next time. Yeah, I'll be the dude next time. Yeah.
But we wrote the levels down. We'll go level by level.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first experience with it, played the shit out of it. But I had a really bad experience the first time because I bought it on PlayStation when it came out, and my controller had like a slight stick drift on the right analog stick, and that's the dodge one. So, like, every time I went to block, I would automatically dodge. And the game was so good that I persevered through it to beat it. But it's not ideal, and it was very, very annoying. But I just replayed it for the first time since then. Oh, boy. I'm hooked. Like,
I thought, isn't the right stick just a camera? Dodge is L1 in a direction on the left stick.
then it must have been L1. Must have been L1.
Okay. Okay.
Well, when did it come out? 22 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years
Yeah.
ago, yeah.
So that you need the analog sticks. They have a PlayStation, like the first PS5 to come out, the controller, the analog sticks suck. They die. They die instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the fighting style that this guy uses? I know there's a specific.
You know, at first I thought it was Wing Chun, the way he be
Yeah.
putting the hands on people like it, man. I thought it was Wing Chun, but it's not. I forgot what it's
I mean,
called.
they do say Kung Fu straight up in the thing. I don't know if that's what it is. I'm not going to pretend to know. But they do straight up.
Bakme.
Because I remember a while ago, I should have watched it before, but there was a developer interview of the guy that made the game, and he said like, "Oh, this game was, it was like an homage to his personal Sifu, because he trains in martial arts, it's a French guy, right? This is a French studio."
Yeah.
Yeah, so the guy was doing developing and he was showing off all of his stuff, like where each of the moves in the game come from. Like his I forgot the name for it, but it's the equivalent of a kata. It's like your
Aikido.
Is that what it is?
It's Aikido, yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Aikido
the way
is
you move, your preset movements.
Your flow and movement, basically turning somebody's energy against them and stuff.
Yeah. So that's what he showed off.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a personal game to him.
Personal
also-
game that did well.
Yeah, and also you could definitely see how they got there because, like, once again, I don't know if you guys played Absolver, but like, I mean, it's like Dark Souls to Elden Ring type shit. that's how it is.
I played Absolver. That had an online component, right?
Yeah.
I played it after the online.
It was actually pretty
over.
cool. It was actually pretty cool because, like, you could in Absolver, I remember you could like kind of just randomly run into people if I remember correctly, and then it could just be like either you guys like do co-op shit or you fight each other.
Yeah.
And when you would fight each other, it was like fighting a motherfucker in this game, except it's a real person. And that would have been a fighting game, but that was sick. I remember that.
Yeah, you got to capture. It tries to capture the old, the old kung fu movies.
Yeah,
like
Bruce Lee's and all that kind of
you
stuff.
killed my father, and this is what we have to do.
Right. So what I really enjoyed about this game, the control scheme at first, when you first start the game, like there's just initial boot up. As soon as you initially boot it up, they take you through the little sequence of playing, etc. And what I didn't realize is at the very fucking beginning, you're playing as the goddamn bad guy, which is just really wild to me. It was like kind of a change of something. I haven't played many games where you play the bad guy first, other than the only game that I can think of is The Last of Us, where you actually played both sides. You get what I'm saying? The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
But this game, you start out as a bad guy at the very beginning. You just kind of playing with the controls, etc. You get through the prologue. Now, right when the game begins and you're the student, it starts taking you through the sequence of whooping other people's asses by training you to whoop these other people's asses and the controls.
Yo, I remember the first time I booted that shit up. I booted it up last week. And then I went through it, and then I remember the first time I saw it, and I was like, "This is the hypest, dopest opening I've ever seen." Because I think 2 years ago I was playing it in Discord, and you were there, or vice versa. You were playing, and I was there, and then we were watching. And it was like, "Yo."
It's sick. Like I was like, yeah, I gotta play this on stream. This is a really good game. So the opening scene, just being able to run through the controls and whoop on people while he's also kind of placating that he's going to fight the people who had a dealing in his master's demise was just awesome. They're like, you didn't even know, but you're actually fighting it's like the Insidious 6 or some shit. Like you're fighting all of the guys that you plan on beating up, or well, not beating, killing, to get back for, you know, your master's death, which is really just wild. Like I was looking at that, and what I can really appreciate about the game is, as I'm playing, I'm starting to get really better at the control scheme, because the controls at first, you know, the whole dodging mechanic, up and down with the feet, the hands, at first it's kind of jarring because it's just like, fuck. Like, it really boils down to, I feel like whoever's going to really, really like this game are going to be people who have patience and people who play Souls-like experience games. If you don't have that kind of patience and you just think you're going to go in there and button mash, you're going to pay for that.
Yeah, there's a bit skill of like
there's a skill gap.
Skill gap, yeah.
There's a high skills. There's a high skill ceiling.
It's a skill ceiling, not
yet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of depth, and it doesn't like. I like that the game just, you know, I mean, you're right, Seb, but I like that the game teaches you how to play the game by having you actually play the game and not just some bullshit like tutorial that's not reflective of how it like. You can still get your ass kicked in the tutorial when you're playing as the bad guy. Like they fight back. They fight back.
They fight back. They will beat your ass. Yes.
Yeah. But this game, on the other hand, you know, like it's, you know, they say it's like fighting games, and I hate to keep bringing up fighting game because it's not a fucking fighting game, but you know, fighting games will say like, oh, easy to pick up, hard to master. This one's like not that easy to pick up, I think, because at first you're definitely going to be taking a shellacking, but it's hard to master. There's a lot of depth there that I really like about it, especially when you start getting to like, if you're the kind of person that likes to replay shit over and over and over again just for the sake of like, just for the sake of getting better at it, because you know it's gonna look cool and feel badass, then like this is that kind of game for you. This is definitely that kind of game for you. I have some like quarrels about some stuff though, but like right now I think we're on a good.
This is basically a roguelike experience.
Oh yeah,
kind of, but it's the same thing every time. I would equate this more to just an kind of like a more modern take on just what an old school arcade game was.
Okay, so how did you feel about the aging experience?
Okay, well, I guess we're going to the cons now. So there's so this is what I have written down here. The death mechanic feels unique and it's interesting and it's cool, right?
Right. Which I thought as well. I also
feel like, and this is probably where I think like you two are gonna be, you know, like you know, pointing at me like the, you know, that meme, like the two
is
women
that why
screaming.
You left your camera off?
No, right now because I got my tits out and they're fucking glistening. That's why I have my camera off. Like I can't emphasize that I am dripping.
That's funny.
So the death mechanic is it's unique. It's unique and it's interesting and cool. I like the whole aging thing, all that kind of shit. I feel like it holds things back in some aspects because it kind of at least my time playing through the game, it took me about like 6 hours to beat it. Mm-hmm. And I probably restarted my run twice, I think, maybe. And I pretty much got on my third run, I got up to the last level age like 28. And I was like, cool, I have enough ass whoopings in my bag to just like, they're like, bro, you can't stand. I got 42 years of kicking your ass to go, bro. You're dead. Which like, I'm gonna try not jump to just last level shit that quickly. But the point I'm just trying to make real quick is that I feel, while getting to the last part at an early age obviously takes like, you need to learn it. I'm not going to say that's not a thing. I do feel like by the end of the game, by the time I beat it, I don't feel like I learned it as much as I should have to feel like I earned beating the game, if that makes sense. Because when you get up, you just get back up and everyone has a moment where they're like, oh shit, he just came back from the dead. Let's let him kick our ass for a second. And so you get up and you get to like, you know, how to put it? You kind of get to headbutt the wall a bit. And then as you're progressing, you get the shortcut, so you get to just skip shit.
So you brute forced it a little bit.
It felt like I did, even though, like, you know, to get, I think to get to the end of the game at age 28 requires some, like, I had to learn something, right? So, like, It like there are like bosses, you have to refight the bosses, right? You're always going to be fighting the bosses. I feel like I learned the bosses before I learned the rooms against enemies. So like there'll be some,
I can see that.
yeah. And the thing is that you can like go to the dojo with the bosses. You can't with the enemies. Now I know in the training thing, and I tried digging. Hold up. Oh. I tried digging through the options to see if I could do it like this, but the thing is that in the training room, you can fight each enemy and each variety of enemy, but you can only fight that one type of enemy, multiple versions of that. Or like, I can fight 3 of this guy, but I can't fight the mix-ups. Okay. I can't fight the kicking lady with like the brawler guy and the knife dude at the same time, even though that's what you're going to see when you're playing the game. And I was playing it yesterday, and in my head, I'm like, I wish when I died, like if there was a choice to have it where it's like, okay, you died, checkpoint, you redo the fight. Like, the game's, you could die real fucking fast in this game.
Oh yeah.
But I would almost be okay if they let you, instead of doing the aging thing, it was just like, hey, it's a checkpoint system. You're not getting past this fight until you win. Which would probably make the game harder, I think, in the grand scheme of things, because imagine having to go through the last boss without dying once.
Fair enough.
That would definitely make the game harder. So the death mechanic kind of like alleviates some of that shit, but it made me think of, and I don't know if everyone here played this game, but there's this arcade game, Xbox Live arcade game called Hardcore Uprising.
Right.
It was Contra. It was like Contra, but made by Arc System Works, which is like the Guilty Gear people and stuff. It was really, really fucking good. And it had 2 modes. It had like a, campaign or career mode where you could go in there and you would play through. And if you know Contra, it's level based. You go level by level by level, but you only have limited lives. Once you're dead, GG, fucking start from the beginning. It was like that, but in the career mode, you could do 1 level at a time, and you could upgrade your character, buy upgrades for them. So it was like had RPG-esque elements. So going through the arcade mode kind of allowed you to like really, really refine stuff. And then once you were like ready for the run, then you go into the arcade mode and do it that way. And if you died in the arcade mode, like this game you could kind of do that. But I just feel like the way the death mechanic works kind of lets you get away with murder at some points. That was my shtick. Cause like after, like one of the boss, the Kill Bill boss, the fucking 3rd one, right?
Yeah.
The one with the
yeah. Lucy Liu.
Yeah, Lucy Liu. That one was sick, and I liked going into the training thing to learn how to fight her properly, and that was cool. And that was like, that's the fantasy of this game. But then times when like I'm going through levels and I know how to like fuck up the boss, but I get to an enemy encounter and it's like, oh yeah, sometimes I get through this enemy encounter, I just get my ass kicked, but I get back up and I make it through. I never felt like I quite mastered those the way that I feel like a player should in order to, I don't know if that makes sense. But like,
hear me out.
Yeah.
Was that your complete thought? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
So
Like I think
yeah. Hear me out. All right. So this is just in direct response to you. I think that all of that with the combination of it's already a kind of a hard learning curve, lets the casual person brute force it.
Yeah.
And
No,
like,
it definitely does.
Like there is a skill, a high skill ceiling and a little bit of learning curve. And I think to your point, saying that, yeah, the death mechanic kind of messes with that, the how hard the game could, I don't want to say hard, or how a person could experience the game.
Yeah.
I think that it tailors to that. And like you said, like you got to the last level at age 28, and like you say, oh, I must have learned something. It's like, that's like passive learning. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know you're learning, but you're learning. And like it may not be like, oh, I can point to this is how they're teaching me, but the way it's structured with the death mechanic and how the levels are structured, how you need to go back so you get a lower age so you can brute force the more harder levels. Is like, I think that's a good balance for like everybody instead of,
you are right.
Just
you are
hardcore dudes.
I wish there was just like a switch, like a flip,
Yeah.
And just have it be like the checkpoint base, which, you know, like once again on paper might seem like it's gonna be easier, but in the long run will probably be way more unforgiving.
Yeah.
I wish I could play that way, because with games like this, like Sekiro, right? Like by the end of Sekiro, you fight Ishin. Whatever. You fight Ishin, and Ishin is like literally a collection of everything, pretty much a collection of everything that you learn throughout the game, and wants you is like a test. The you know, like it requires a mastery, or, you know, enough mastery of what you learn throughout the whole game to get past this. So I know that if I beat Ishin, I go back through the game and like I GG that shit. This game, that didn't quite happen, because like I beat the game and then I go and it's just like the, you know, I just talking about
you could still run into a room and get your ass kicked.
You
You
get
can
your
run
ass
into a
kicked,
room and get
especially
your ass
when
kicked.
like the bell rings and you can't see shit for a second. I'm just saying, corny, but still.
And like the final boss is
way harder than
yeah,
everything else.
Yeah,
it's
he
so
really
far
is.
removed from the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Because like you can't use your focus attack. He's unfocusable. So supposedly I found out online that like people still use the focus just to slow down
like
his
some
movements.
corny shit. Okay.
But it's like he's so much harder than everyone else, and you have to fight him. You have to fight him completely different
Than everyone else. Like,
I would have to
he
say there was
requires that
only
mastery.
three. There was only like 3 bosses. I like legit 2. I say 2 that I had a legit hard time with, and that would have had to been the museum chick.
Yep.
And the final boss. And the last boss.
Yep.
Other than that, everybody else, for the most part, I wouldn't say the very first boss is smooth sailing. I don't care what anybody says. The very first boss
I mean,
is smooth
not your
sailing.
first time through, all right? Not your first time through.
No, first time smooth sailing was first. The club owner, however, I died maybe twice against him, and I had to learn this. Yeah, I had to slow down with him.
If you don't pick up a weapon, and you're blocking shit, you're still taking damage, and it's like
Right.
But if you pick up a weapon, it's more like, you know, you're fighting on
the
his terms.
museum chick. I had to go all the way back to the beginning to start out young just to get right for the museum chick, because, bro, her attacks are like.
You have to dodge.
Yeah, outlandish, and you gotta know what she's gonna do. Other than that, everybody else between her, just her and the last boss, like I felt like everybody else wasn't like overly tough. Not overly tough, but a challenge. You get what I'm saying?
They were the proper challenge. They were proper. I mean, I felt like the 4th boss was a little. I think that's easily the weakest one.
Was that the one with the
bell?
Whip? The bell. Yeah. She was pretty.
I'm not sure if that's just me, but it seems like that fight just rewards just like bum rushing the shit out of her. Like, yo, you going down, old bitch.
Right, just beat the old lady to death. Yeah,
which is like the complete.
You could brute force that.
Yeah,
yes.
which is like the opposite of most everything else in the game, where, you know, requires a little more elegance to get through it.
Maybe they was just like let us let them brute force her, because the last boss is gonna be a shit show.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And
Maybe.
like I guess if we're looking at it from like, oh, what do you learn from this boss so you can take it for the next boss? It's like you're really learning like opening points, and that it's okay to bum rush some situations. That some situations require you to be a little more offensive than not. Every boss before that, I can you're really on the defense. This one just focuses on you getting in while she's trying to keep you out. By the way, her name's not Lucy Liu. It's her name's Kuriko the artist.
So let me hear me out. This game touched on so many movies. I cannot preface that enough. It touched on Daredevil with the fight scene in the hallway. It touched
the
on
fights. The
Daredevil with it touched on Kill Bill with the fight scene in the snow.
One of the later on, the deluxe edition came up with, you know, they have 100 challenge fights. One of the challenge fights is the the murderous 87 or something, where
the crazy 88s.
Yeah, the crazy, but it's the name of it is the crazy 87. It's representing
87.
That. Yeah, you fight a bunch of people in the black suits, and you have a multi-level level.
Oh, that's cool.
That's dope.
I mean,
That's dope.
the Bell lady, I keep forgetting her fucking name, but the not the character in the game, but from Kill Bill, the Bell lady just felt like that one chick in schoolgirl uniform that had like the spike
I think
ball.
I think her name was either Kimiko or Kiriko, something like that.
Something
Kimiko.
like that. Yeah.
The one with the spike ball.
It's exactly what it reminded me of when I was fighting her. Like,
so I think they got a lot of inspiration from movies for a lot of this, especially due to the fact that they added the little challenges, and they got the Smith fight in there as well, where you fighting all the Smiths, and every one of them are in suits and everything, and they just all standing in a row and rows, and they all just come at you one at a time, and then everybody starts to jump you like the Matrix Reloaded Smith Neo scene. It's really dope.
I never dug through the costumes, but do they have like a yellow and black tracksuit in there?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Okay,
yes, they do. So yeah,
in the challenge level, you're wearing that yellow and black tracksuit.
Oh, that's good.
All right. So, I don't know if it's a costume you unlock. I assume it is because he is wearing it. But I think you need to unlock all the costumes, which I don't know how I feel about, because there's an option to pay separately for it, but you still don't unlock it.
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess real quick, also just one more thing that really, the only really other thing that bothered me about this game, the camera chaps my ass, bro. That shit.
There were moments.
Yeah.
There were moments.
If they get you in a corner.
Yeah, it gets bad.
And especially, bro, that fourth level. Ooh, I hate that level.
Bro,
I hate that level so much.
I can't tell
about
you
the one
how
when you're in
many
the cavern.
times.
Yeah, and the bell goes. You can't see dick, and every fight's in like a small room. So the moment they get you up against the wall, it's just like fucking no lube, bro. It's so annoying.
I can't tell you how many times, like, the camera, it was me here, a dude in front of me here, like the camera is facing me in the back of this person's head, and then there was a dude right behind me. How many times my own body blocked my view from the other dude behind me, and he just walloped me in the back of the head.
It's like the curse of. It's like it happens in Sekiro too. It happens in Sekiro, so it's not just this. It's just like the curse of a lot of these. Action games. It was very rare. It's very rare that you see an action game that has a camera that doesn't suck complete fucking nuts. Like
where it doesn't fuck you in a situation.
You could how do you do it perfectly? Is you would need like a fixed camera system, right?
Nope. Bayonetta does it. All you gotta do is just peel the camera back, and if there are walls, which I don't even remember Bayonetta does it, make the fucking wall transparent.
Okay.
You could do that. Yeah, you could do that.
Just make the wall transparent. Don't just have it like physically push up against it. It's so annoying.
One thing that I did notice is y'all both called that out, was like when the camera goes wonky, and then let's say you're fighting multiple people. The problem is when you can't see this other guy, this motherfucker's charging an unblockable just to, like, it seems like they always do it when the camera's fucked up. But he comes out of nowhere off screen and just wallops the shit out of you and just folds you, and you just like, yo, where the fuck were you the whole time? Where did you even come from?
I feel like there's a word for it. I don't know the word, but it's like you only notice it when it happens, so you think it happens only when it happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you only notice the unblockable when you don't see it, and it fucks you up. So I don't think they it's programmed so when they're out of bounds, they come and that's the opportunity attack. But I could be wrong.
How did you boys feel about replayability?
I mean, this game is highly.
I'm not done playing it.
I am not.
I went through and played it 3 times to completion. I did not, however, play all of the challenges that they have. I need to go back and do that at some point. There's that many?
There's 100. I think there's 100. total.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a
And
lot
it's
of
like
challenges.
each of them is a tier. So if it's how you either kill as many people as fast as possible. So there's like there's gold, silver, and bronze on each of them, or you capture a zone in a certain amount of time, or you die at a certain age, or you win at a certain age. And it's just like, if you want a gold star, everything, that's
Yeah, that's high achievement. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to platinum
and
any
it's
more games. That's the
COVID's over.
that's the old
so
me.
let's just
yeah, that's the
time to
old
go
me. I ain't trying to platinum games no more. But you guys want to go through the levels and
let's
talk
go.
about some of the game
Yeah.
design and stuff? So
Yeah.
very very beginning prologue.
You'd
Again,
think,
I was shocked.
Yeah. You'd think that if this guy is such a badass, the guy that you fight at the end, your actual Sifu, is such a badass, he must be really bad at teaching because you just fuck his entire school up. Like,
Right.
Well, they ain't me.
yeah, they me. That's right.
Fair enough. He walked in there and everybody was like, you
It's
should know
him.
better. It's him. You should know better to have come back here. It's like, what? So I'm thinking that this is the actual guy we're going to be using, you know, and the way that panned out, I was like, okay, so that was pretty good.
And it's like you meet all of the bad guys. They're your crew. And then through further, like, by the time you play it 3 times and you unlock all of the story behind it, you understand like, oh, these guys are painted like as serious bad guys, but you learn that they're here because they're all like afflicted by some illness, and that this guy is holding the secrets to curing them.
All of the cures. Yep.
So they're like desperate people trying to stay alive.
It's almost like this means to an end type business. So they're just doing it for a means to an end.
Yeah. So yeah, the prologue goes a long way into like painting, hey, this is your job, this is the narrative, this is the way we want you to see it. Your first playthrough, you are beating the bad guys. Every kill is justified.
Right.
Yeah. So that's and I'll leave the rest as we go on through the levels. I'll go along that point.
How'd you feel about the squats?
It's a good opening level. It's a
Very
good
good.
opening level.
I thought so too.
This is I guess going back on the difficulty thing real quick, like about the last boss, how it's just like way fucking harder than everything else. Like nothing really prepares you for that. The first level is like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like by the end of the level, it feels like, okay, this now like me fighting this boss is like I went through these guys. This guy's like a natural escalation of things. And then on top of that, it shows like the how effective like shortcuts are. Like when you get the key, because at first you're like, okay, I got a key, whatever. But then, when you die or when you do the run back, like it's a first level that I don't mind playing through over and over again. When, if I have to like restart a playthrough, it's a very good opening level.
Because like when you start out, it's you fight a lot of people in that hallway, but they're like not serious dudes. They're like the
There's just, like,
level one. And then like there are harder dudes sprinkled throughout, like the twins in one room, the Thai boxers. They when it's your first playthrough, I don't know about y'all, but they fucked me up real bad. Like,
bro, like the factory floor one.
Oh yeah.
That's easily the hardest fight of that level, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like,
because there's just a whole shit ton of people.
yeah, and like there's a shit ton of people, and they throw in like either one or two of those, those guys where you kick the shit out of them. They're like, nah, I'm not done yet, kind of thing.
Yeah. Where if you use your finisher, they come back and they're like,
yeah, and their fucking third eye opens. That's that fight's definitely hard, but it's like, I don't know, it feels good. I guess
oh yeah. Because like again, the corridor scene where you actually go through the corridor, like in Daredevil, and like
that shit is fire, bro.
I love Daredevil. Like I really liked that scene where he's just mollywhopping everybody in the no cut. thing, and when I was going through, I was like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And then I remember like 2 years ago going online looking up that scene, and people have modded the Daredevil costume into it, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. What I like about so continuing on the point from the previous one, like multiple playthroughs of the first one, right? Of the first level. So your first impression is like, oh, you climb up a wall, you see a cracked out person, and you press like investigate on him. It says, I don't remember exactly what he says, but I'm paraphrasing. It says, "Fucking crackheads." You know, I guess they're not really gonna bother me, right?
Oh yeah, with the guy on the couch, right?
Yeah. But on subsequent playthroughs, and you go through, you know, your first playthrough, you see all the plants. You say, oh, they're making drugs here, and you see all the money that they have here. Oh, illegal drugs. On multiple playthroughs, you find that this is, you know, this is how they harvest and make like an herbal remedy that's like super potent. And those guys laying around aren't crackheads, but they're like, you know, sick people. And that, you know, the bad guys, quote unquote, are helping people by facilitating this this plant that they found from beating the shit out of your Sifu. And you find later on when you find because you find keys in different levels to come back to this level and open up certain doors. And you find out that the machete dude, the reason why he's here, the botanist, that's his name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is because he's like terminally ill. And on a later level, the final level, you find the room that he's in, right? That he was staying in for his treatment. And he was, and it says like, oh, your treatment's going well. You're recovering really, really well from this bad disease that he had. So it's like they're performing miracles, like actual miracles, through this technique that they found by beating the shit out of your Sifu because he was a part of a, you know, group that was keeping this knowledge hidden. So that's like your first playthrough of the level. Your perception is one way, and then as you learn more throughout different levels and go back, it's like now it's completely different. You know, this isn't, you know, a fucking drug den anymore. It's, you know, these people are trying to help people.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I never picked up any of that stuff. No, this is like me. I'm hearing this like I guess as an aside, my approach when I'm playing through the games for the purposes of doing the podcast, I'm just giving you my experience. Like I'm giving you my experience. I try and play it, you know, the ways that I play it. So when it came to the story stuff, I was I watched every cutscene. I would read some of the stuff, and I'd be like, sure, and then just keep going. So hearing this is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting because again, I didn't even when I would never find it. Well, even when I played it the first time 2 years ago, I didn't connect the dots. I did not connect.
I didn't either. I didn't either.
It was only till this playthrough the last week where I started reading everything. I was like, oh shit.
So I read shit too, but it didn't click until. Like, I don't know. When you first boot up this game, all you want to do is whoop some ass. That's it. You just want to fuck people up. So my first two playthroughs, the first playthrough was I want to get to the end and beat it. The second playthrough was I want to see if I can beat it on the harder difficulty. And then the third playthrough was, hey, I'm just fucking around. Now I'm starting to read things, little things that's posted up on the wall, little notes that they have laying on a desk, your little FBI board that you got that you planning on, you know, it tells you all of the information for each person and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't pay no attention to it. I just know, oh, my next target is at the museum. Oh, I'm on your ass. I'm about to whoop you. That's all I was thinking about at the time. But go ahead.
All right. So the FBI board, I don't know if it's just me, but the prompt for reading shit only comes up the first time that I pick something up. When I went back to the board and it said press A to read, nothing came up. I don't know if that's just my game is glitched.
Your game might be glitched because it usually. He said the FBI.
They on to you, bro.
Yeah. No, I'm getting too close, so I can't read it.
Can't know the truth.
Yeah. Oh man! And once you beat the game, there are all these challenges, and like I went through the first level and did all the challenges, all the challenges except for one. So there's like you beat it at a certain high score. There's one challenge where you start from the beginning without using any shortcuts, and you get to the first big man in the with all the money.
Squats or...
Yeah, in the squats. You have to do it in less than 3 minutes. And that one took me a little while because you have to run past a bunch of people and you have to go through the hallway and then you have to beat everybody in the office and then you have to get to the roof. And then, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was a trophy for being like the factory floor in like a minute 20 or something like that. A minute 20.
And you get a nice little trophy for doing it at a faster
Yeah, yesterday I was playing it. I just went badoink. I'm like, oh, hey, look at that. Yeah. I like trophies that just reward you for like playing the game in cool ways.
Yeah. Yeah. The final boss, he has a machete. He comes out of the, and then he sets up like this. I don't know if you watch Jujutsu Kaisen. He sets up like some sort of domain expansion.
Yo, that's I don't know. Is it like, all right, your guy gets up from the dead and then just magically gets older. So obviously there's some mystical shit going on here.
So that's what the medallions
that
were
much
for,
mystical
right?
shit? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what those.
So to turn like the plant place into the fucking bamboo forest in the middle of China type shit, or
okay, so I know what you're talking about.
Fire, I think that's just our creative
dramatic,
dramatic effect. I don't know.
Okay, because I hadn't by the end I didn't know if this was just like because the thing is that you get back up from the dead, right?
Right.
So I didn't know if this was just like, okay, you know what? He's like, welcome to, I'm the leader of the woods. And then the other one's like, fucking here's the ocean around us. I didn't know that was like an actual thing happening, or it's just, like you're locked in and this is what it feels like kind of thing, but it's not really happening. I don't know. But I guess maybe, I mean,
you know
maybe
what,
not.
You know what just brought me to this when Salah said all of them were sick? They could fight for them motherfuckers, some scrappy bastards for everybody that was sick. You said the botanist was sick too, right?
Well, he was recovering, right?
Shh. That motherfucker used to dive in the bush and then go disappear and then come out of nowhere, bro.
Yeah, and he killed kids too.
And he killed, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He did.
But it's like it's that thing. Like I'm gonna go through a bunch of shit that I went through. And like all the story stuff, but at the end of the day, the dude sliced up a kid. Like
he sliced up a kid.
That was a good introduction. Moving on to the club, I feel like the club. This is where the difficulty took a slight spike. The club had a lot of enemies that
bad motherfuckers.
That did a lot of blocking. And a lot of unblockables that just came out of nowhere. And I was just like, oh, like especially that DJ area with the women.
Oh,
the women oh my
watch
God.
Watch out.
Because they fucked up.
Don't be a misogynist, bro. No.
They do the low sweeps. They go for the wins.
They really do. Yeah. They do the low sweeps and fuck you up.
I will say that this game does a good job of introducing new enemies, like specifically like the like the big guy in the first level, because like you brought up the Snarf when you first well, it's not just cutscene, but it's like specifically it's a one-on-one against this enemy. Like that gives you a chance to at least like take in this enemy type before they start throwing them in mix-ups.
I mean, throwing them in mix-ups right away would just be actually unfair and a dick move.
Well, they don't have a problem with doing it shortly after they throw them at you.
Yeah. It's like, all right, you learned. Now we're gonna throw you in the fire.
Because in the club level, it's like the dancer kicking ladies. It's like the kung fu dudes.
The Thai boxers.
Yeah. And then like there was like one of the enemies was using a staff too.
Yeah, and the staff dudes.
Yeah. But I at least appreciate that they for some of the tougher ones, it's like, here's a one-on-one, here's like a snippet. You get to at least learn something about these guys before, we just like feed you to the wolves kind of shit.
Right.
How long before you guys, as you was getting in, did the moveset ever change or got better for you, or you felt like you saw something different?
You mean like what I was doing while fighting, or?
Yeah, so sometimes like when you remember that feeling that you got when you first started playing, you was like, yo, I fucked you up. You know what I mean? And then you get to like maybe the tower, the sanctuary, and the moves. Now I wouldn't say become stale, but
I mean, I was still
like
doing the same shit.
Yeah, it's like you kind of just doing the same shit. But unless you started upgrading and changing your moveset and doing different things, you would kind of, for the most part, doing some of the same moves, especially the ones you knew would work.
Yeah. I kind of, like the only ones when I tried mixing it up, I'm not going to talk about the focus ones, because those are just kind of like
those are different.
Yeah, those are different, because when you do them, they're going to work. But like when it comes to moves I was actually trying to implement that weren't just part of the base moveset, was like the sweep was a big one.
Oh yeah,
The sweep was a big one.
But
I felt I hate like some games do it right, some do it, some don't. I don't think this game does the inputs. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times I feel convinced that I did back forward triangle or some shit, and motherfucker didn't do it. But when I play Devil May Cry and I do back forward, that motherfucker does the back forward move without fail every single time. So I'm like,
there were moments I felt the same.
Yeah. Like I think the window for it is maybe like too small to do some of the moves. I could be wrong, because there are some moves that say like hit this right after doing something, and when they say right after, I mean they fucking mean like you're using two fingers on the face buttons at the same time kind of shit.
Yeah.
They might as well say simultaneously, right?
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Some moves like lock you out of doing anything until a certain time has
Give me
passed.
1 second, boys. Y'all could continue.
Yeah.
Sure.
It locks you out of doing a move for a certain amount of time. So like, for example, after doing like a heavy light combo, if you want to go into focus mode, you have to wait till your character resets. And like that screwed me up a lot of times, because I thought, oh, I'm in the middle of a combo, I can just hit focus and then hit this guy that's going to come at me, and all that happens is nothing happens, and he just wallops you on the side of the face. And it's like, I thought the time was going to stop.
or like the amount of times where I'm hitting L2, and because I have to wait for him to kind of like reset, I hit L2, and by the time it finally goes into it, I'm just like watching in slow motion as I get fucking snuffed. Like it's at the last possible
Very last second. And like sometimes I feel like that L2 move doesn't go into slow motion mode fast enough. I don't know.
Like you need the window. You need the window to do it. and so that would have happened when like, or I guess what that resulted in was that I wanted to use other moves, but considering that it felt like just the input of them felt like it wasn't a 100% success rate when I did the input for it, and considering the reward I would get for, oh, hey, I successfully did the leg sweep, they blocked it. Okay, well, you know what? I guess I'm just going to hit square again.
So I will tell you. So I think I have a good, thinking about it, I have a good memory of like what moves I used at certain points of playing the game. It's like when I first played the game and I unlocked a, the pushing attack, the back forward X attack. So it pushes your enemy back. I didn't use that until I unlocked, there was a, press X after you push them back. And it's a follow-up like flurry of blows type thing. Or it's a follow-up sweep where you press heavy. I used that a lot my first playthrough. Like I specifically stopped using the sweep and started using the push attack so I could follow up with the flurry of blows and then a sweep, or just follow up with the sweep. As time went on, I ditched that just because it was more work. It felt like
enough reward.
Not enough reward. And then I went into, I tried using the charged X attack.
You a fool, monkey, a fool.
where you dodge and attack at the same time. And that is like, if you can do that, like, you've mastered the game. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. I felt like the charge. I think the charge square one was pretty cool. That was like a little flurry of blows type thing, if I remember correctly. The charge triangle could go kick rocks.
I don't
like your
get
dude
that
standing
one.
there with a limp arm. He's doing the Bruce Lee shit. I think that's like he's standing there with a limp arm and he does like the jab. But the thing is that like your enemies aren't stupid, so they see you with the limp arm. They're like, "Well, we're gonna fuck you up. Like we're gonna fuck you up."
I know exactly what y'all talking about too.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like the final boss he does the same move, and it wasn't I was like, why is this guy hitting me every time I go to attack him? And then I noticed his stance, and I was like, wait, that's my move. No.
And he knows how to do it. This mother.
But all right, so I started out with that, and then my bread and butter was the heavy hold and then heavy spin kick attack. I used that a lot, and then eventually just fell off, and then I started using just the low kick into grab, beat 'em up. And then finally, where I currently am, I'm using a lot of. I ditched that. It's like I learned something, I use it a lot, and then I just ditch it and then go to something else, and then the same thing over and over again.
At least you're trying to mix it up, like, because I'm gonna tell you, for a while I was just eye raking the shit out of people for a while, like that was straight poke right in the eye.
It's a leg sweep for me.
It's the
You see, I do the
leg sweep
eye
on that.
rake like exclusively. The only time I use leg sweep is when I'm facing like a beefy opponent with a weapon, like one of the beefy opponents with the staves. Like I go instantly for the web sweep because it disarms them. That's like the easiest way to disarm them.
How did you feel about the weapons in the game?
Oh, they're
Yo, baseball bat OP,
baseball bat
man.
all day. Like I avoided using them my first playthrough because I was like, I don't need weapons. I'm a kung fu master. And then as I'm trying to get a better score, I'm like, okay, upgrade the weapon, upgrade the weapon, upgrade the weapon. I don't care if I have 8,000 score and the level, and I can unlock the super exclusive thing. I will do full weapon first.
Because you can't upgrade your weapons past age 25.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm gonna do this shit now. On the run, when I beat the game, I literally just went all in on the weapon stuff because I remember specifically use a bat to beat the shit out of the third boss.
Yeah.
But yeah, bat OP.
Damn,
OP.
what was the last? I'm thinking of one more fight move that I use. Oh yes, all right. The one that I'm currently on, the one that I didn't use the whole playthrough, but I'm using a lot now, is the heavy hold heavy, where it's like it's heavy, and then he does a flurry of blows.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
That one, it doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, but it does a lot of stagger bar when they're blocking.
It's like the Ip Man shit. The fairy of punches and shit.
Yeah, that one.
I noticed you like disrespecting your opponents. You slapped them in the back of the head and shit. I was like, yo, look at this man.
Right. There is a reason for
Put your balls on their neck.
There is a reason for that. So that's a secret move. That's a secret move you unlock in the third level by finding a mask on a wall. You fight this lady with a big stick and you beat shit out of her, and the mask is on the wall to the left. You inspect it and it said, this mask is fucking talking shit. I can feel it. And then it says you unlock the bullshito move or something. And then you spec into it. And all it is, it's a focus attack where, the guy, you pretend you're going to attack the dude. And then he goes like this.
Hey, they flinch.
And then you just smack him on the back of the head. That move is so good because it increases your modifier by a whole a whole multiplier. So the modifier is like if you don't get hit, you can get up to a 3 times point multiplier, and the points in the level go up faster. So that's how I keep a 3 times multiplier, so I can unlock better moves, better
slaps.
Yeah, it just you see me doing that every time because like I'm not using my focus on like small dudes anyway, so I might as well be using it on a regular dude to keep my multiplier up. But it's like I don't feel good about it, but I am disrespecting him. But also mechanically, that's what I gotta do.
Good.
I guess since we're technically still on the second level, I thought it was pretty cool, like the style in the beginning. When you had like the music bumping while you're fighting dudes, I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. This game's got
was good.
I mean, the game got style. Like it's definitely got like it's visually striking. And I think it starts showing off in the second level. What everyone think about? I know we kind of talked about it earlier, but what everyone think about the second boss?
Oh, the second
guy.
boss. All right, so
Sean.
Yeah, Sean. Here's what another thing of moves that I started using in the beginning and in the end just didn't. My first playthrough, I was dodging everything. Every attack, like I was holding block and pushing on the analog stick because I thought like, oh, that's the better way to do things. It's not.
It depends.
Well, for me personally, like I was dodging everything that was coming at me. I was trying to dodge it actively. But at my third playthrough of the game, where I was trying to do like non-lethal shit and trying to build their stagger bar, it's timed blocking is the way to go because that's what builds their stagger bar, not dodging.
Yeah.
So for Sean, you pick up one of the sticks off of the wall. So like when you do the timed blocking, it doesn't do chip damage to you. Because if you're just doing it with your arms and he has a weapon, you're gonna lose health.
Bro, I played that shit 3 times and did not fucking know that. I just straight up just dodged him and beat his ass. I didn't know if you use a weapon, you can actually block the chip damage.
I thought
that's crazy.
If you nail the time blocks, you don't take damage. Because at least I know that happens with the third boss. In the second phase of the third boss, when she's attacking you with the daggers, if you do your timed blocks, you don't get hurt.
All right.
Right.
I'm not going, me personally, this is just me. This may not be you. I don't have the wherewithal to time all of those blocks, so he's gonna hit me.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna hit my forearm at some point.
Yeah.
But if you have the weapon, even if you're doing regular blocks, he doesn't do chip damage.
Yeah. I feel like the second boss was the first boss that I got the download on.
Yeah.
That one was cool.
He has three patterns. He has the whip, bop, bop, and bop 3, where he goes around his head, bop, bop, bop. And then he has the little combo where he ends with the upward slash.
Upward slash,
and then he has the one where he starts at the bottom sweep.
Oh, he also has the poke, if I remember correctly, right? Doesn't he?
The poke, the poke is always up on that combo where he ends like this, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the only one that I found annoying because he wouldn't start doing it until you got to the second phase was that sweep.
Yeah,
the sweep. Because when he does it, it's annoying. Like it comes up pretty quick.
Yeah, but also it's like the first time you have a boss that does a sweep attack. But
and
it's
have to dodge it.
Yeah. Visually, that level is sick. Like you're fighting in a burning dojo. So, let's get your takes on it, and then I'll go into the continuation of the the story. What do you think, Tony? Was anything on this boss?
This boss, like I said, it was one of those bosses that. The very first level after you beat the botanist, right? The botanist was easy. It felt like at this point I got my ass beat like twice before I actually kind of got the hang of it, because that like Fist said, that lower sweep came out fast and you don't expect it. And when he does hit you, it's almost like he's waiting for you to get back up so he could just start wailing on you again.
He's very aggressive.
Yeah, he's very aggressive and is obnoxious. And I was just like, all right. So like you said, grabbing shit off the wall is how I kind of kind of started until he set everything on fire, and then it just got out of hand. Like,
It was like, whoa, dude, calm down.
right. So, but this boss, I would say he was fairly difficult. Not too bad.
He was a good level for a second level boss.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad. Like I actually enjoyed that level. A lot of mechanics started coming out, but this is where I started aging, and I was using the woman character.
Right.
So you know what I mean, like you could see it. you could see it. I was starting, like, I think when I beat him, I was at least age 64 or 66.
Gee.
And that's when Tony had to go back and start from the beginning to get a lower level for age. Yeah. I think the lowest level I ever had getting up to the next level after the club was 30. Oof. That's the lowest I was, to 30 at one point.
I was 23. 23, I think, to get to the tower is the next one. No, the museum is the next one.
The museum.
Yeah, but that's me. I played
on the hardest difficulty though.
There's difficulties.
No, definitely. Yeah.
Yes, you can crank it up.
Yeah. He did say it earlier in the podcast.
You can crank it up.
He also did say it last week when we were talking about it.
You can crank it up.
Wow.
So level 3, yo. So the museum.
No, I'm not done with number 2 yet. All right. So your first, as you're going through level 2, the second level, the thing, it's like you're denied access because, like, it says you're not getting in here, punk. This is a private club. And it's like, okay, these guys are assholes. You know, this is a private event that, you know, they're not going to let ugly people in, and they only let, you know, guys with open, uncollared shirts.
Yeah.
So that's your perception. You beat up the guy, the security at the front door. You go in, and then you go to the next guy, and it says, "Guys, we got a problem here." And then you go into the next room, and that's where the gauntlet starts. Of like just a shit metric fuck ton of people just come at you, and there's bottles everywhere, and everyone's having a party. So these guys are degenerates, clearly, right?
Right.
And then you're beating everybody up, and it's a big thing. So that's your perception first way through. And then you get into, there's an underground fight pit. You know, they're fighting for money and all this. So again, it's like, you know, it's a human version of dog fighting. It's, you know, it's not respectable. It's an underground fight ring. It's not respectable. It's not anything. And you go through it, and then, there's a little bit more to it. You know, there's like, these are trials. And so such and so forth. I don't know what the saying is. So on and so forth. And you keep on going, and you know, you're going through it, and it's like, these guys are, you know, these guys don't know anything about tradition or being a nice guy or whatever. These guys are just animals fighting. So on your subsequent playthroughs, you find out that Sean is the son of one of the other kung fu masters that were holding the secret. And the way all of this set up is not like an underground fight pit, but it's like it's an honor battle to progress in like whatever martial art that they're teaching. And the burning of the burning ritual that they have of where everything's on fire is actually part of his training. So it may look barbarian-ish, but it's actually a spiritual type journey that these guys are fighting the gauntlet to go through. So it's not like
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. God damn, it's solid. How the fuck did you find out all of this shit? Like,
we're illiterates, bro.
He read because I didn't even know that.
This is how it is, right? On the tower level where you're beating up the old lady, you see a room with the 4 masters on it. Your master is like here, and then there's a picture of another master. And this is like the equivalent, you know, of your board, your FBI board. this is their FBI board. This is where they planned to get the secrets from all the Sifus. So they have like your Sifu is X'd out and everyone else is X'd out. This is all the masters that they killed. There's a picture of a master to the right. All right. And I think in the final level, you find a key that you can go back to the second level and unlock a box that's right before the final boss. And that is a picture of the Sifu that's on the wall of the fourth level. And it says Sean is the descendant of this guy. So you have to know that this guy is on the wall, one of the Sifus in the fourth level. And you have to know that this picture is the picture of Sean's father. And it tells you all about the burning ritual and all that.
I feel dirty right now. Like
That is how it's supposed to make you feel. Like foreshadowing. You're supposed to feel like a dickhead when you kill all these people. Because like I'll go into it as we go upon levels, but like they're not all evil. There was some evil shit that your Sifu was doing by keeping these secrets away from people that needed help. And these people were desperate because your brother, I don't know if he's actually your brother, but he calls you brother. Yeah, but like, is he your brother because he's your, brother?
So
martial arts brother?
technically, disciples are brothers. If you want to, in that sense.
Maybe that, like, you're the actual son of the Sifu, but I don't know if he's your brother or just the disciple brother. Where was I? Shit.
You're supposed to feel like trash.
You're supposed to feel like trash at the end after you kill all these people because the Sifus were hiding the secret to like actual healing people, and the disciple, which is your quote unquote brother, had all these friends that like they're not good people because they're killers and all of that, but they were sick, like, and they were a tight group and. Like, imagine your dad had the secrets to saving them, but he just wouldn't do it because they're not your kind. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
And so you understand by the end of it why they were so mad. What did they have to do to save their friends? And, at the end of it, you see that all of them are spreading this knowledge everywhere. They're not keeping it to themselves. They're not hoarding it. They're helping people. Like,
so that's where all of that botanist knowledge, except for killing the kids and shit. But that's where all the botanist knowledge and everything came into play. Probably how everything grew as fast as it did. They're using I feel like there was some magic to it, Fist. Like, because again, you die and come back and age instead of actually dying all the way out. You just age. So I felt like there was some magic to each and every one of those bosses, everything that they had going on. There was some magic to what they were doing because of the secrets that they learned from actually killing your Sifu.
All of them, have a role in the whole plot. What'd you say, Best?
No, well, I guess what I'm gonna say is gonna lead into level 3. So I don't know if we're ready for that yet. Are we?
Yeah, we can go to level 3.
Yeah.
You fight in the middle of the ocean.
All right.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Or there's wait, hold on. Let me just bring the other ones. Just as a quick thing, at level 3, you're in a museum. It's definitely, I think, the most visually striking level in the game with all the crazy shit that you're seeing.
Yeah.
Right.
Floating people. Or was that like an art sculpture thing?
I think it was an art sculpture thing.
Okay, what about walking in midair?
Probably an art sculpture thing.
Yeah, welcome to the museum. Sorry, just mind your step. You're going to be walking on nothing, what looks like, and if you happen to just venture off the side a bit too much, you're going to fall and fucking die. So, you find in the middle of the ocean. Go.
All right, so I'll be honest. This is what happened to me. I told you about the glitch where I couldn't go back and look at shit. When I found the piece of key information about this lady, I pressed X by accident and I didn't read it. and I couldn't get back to it. So I don't know nothing about this lady.
All right, it's peyote. Got it.
But but what I do glean from this, what's her name? The artist, Kirkio?
Lucy Liu.
Not
Lucy
Lucy Liu.
Liu.
The artist. Her name's the artist. She was an assassin. She killed people. She did not have a good history. But she let all of that go. Like, she grew, and now she's an artist, and now she does art and shit. So she had a lot of bad growing up shit, and then she let it go and reformed herself. That's all I got.
Oh,
Gotcha.
It may or may not be true because, again, I pressed X over the most important piece of thing. There's something, like, there's a picture of a lady. I assume it's one of her family members. Like, I don't know exactly how she fits into this whole thing other than she's a friend. But somebody who knows, leave it in the comments. Because I can't see the fucking FBI board. Like, I keep on pressing A over the piece of information that I want to look at. Does not pop up. I don't know.
Was it me, or was this definitely felt like it was the longest level?
Yo, she is a bitch.
She's
okay,
a
I
pain
didn't
in
talk
the
about fighting.
Then who are you talking about? You talking about?
This feels like it's the longest level.
This
I don't know if I'm like the
I agree.
shortcut. They knew what they did. I feel like they knew what they did because the shortcut takes you straight to the fucking boss. You fight like two dudes and you're at the end of the level.
And two dudes that give you weapons so you can do better at the final boss.
One of them being a baseball bat.
Yeah.
I have to say this was probably the longest sequence.
The end of the hallway type sequence though, that shit was cool because that all like the floating sculpture type shit.
But this time with the hallway, the camera was panned from a horizontal perspective instead of a vertical one this time. So it was up against the wall where you could just beat people's asses and still be traveling horizontally to your next destination. Like, I have to say, the camera the camera, when it's not funky and it goes and pans to certain areas or certain fight scenes,
it's a vibe.
I would have to say is really good. Yeah. But when the camera is not being, when it is being a dick bag and you're just having to deal with stupid angles, is bad. And I would have to say the museum with the camera angles wasn't as bad.
I had a lot of cool moments. That
very much.
The bit with the rain where it's like the little like circle type thing, that part looked.
Yeah. The bit when you fighting the two chicks in the red area after you fall through the floor. Yeah. That I have to say, like, little shit like that, it's just really good. It just brought me back to Kill Bill when the fight scene turned all black and white and stuff like that. And like just little things like that, or seeing the shadows of them fighting in Kill Bill. It's
that whole level was visually appealing. You know,
very.
And it's about an artist, so I guess that's the point.
Yeah,
yeah, that was the point. It was fitting. Other than that, how did y'all feel about the boss?
I had fun learning it. Like, or recently, when I played through the game, I kind of unga-bunga my way through that. Recently, getting back on, playing it again, I went and just like stayed in the training thing for like an hour, just trying to learn all the proper dodges and all that kind of shit. I still can't 100% do it perfectly, but I get most of it down, and it feels pretty badass. I'm not going to lie.
When I stopped dodging and just doing the perfect parries, that's when she's not easy, but easier. The first phase. I felt second phase is not a problem.
Phase is way easier than the first, right?
Yeah, second phase is so much easier. And the first phase, that stick that she could just swing and do all type is ridiculous. But the second phase
is
a lot easier.
Problem.
Lot easier than the first. A lot easier than the first.
Where she turns into the assassin, you have the blades. And then you're fighting in water. I assume it's like a domain expansion type thing. It's like, you're fighting in their minds, in their mind.
Domain expansion before we knew what domain expansion was, because
there's a shit ton of names. I've just been watching Jujutsu Kaisen recently.
It's her Bankai and shit.
Yeah, it's her Bankai. It's her shadow realm. It's her millennium puzzle, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Other than like, she's just, if you're not perfect pairing the attacks to increase her stun, you need a weapon to do that, because if you do that, you still take damage if you miss the perfect damage.
But you get the dodges. You can punch in between, or like when she's done with shit. It works. It works. I'm telling you.
It works.
It
works. Is it worth it than just parrying it, mashing parry? I
don't know, man.
Is it? Well, I'll ask you, because you know better. Is it that thing where it's like, oh, it's nice to know that you've mastered this, or is it more work than it's worth than just parrying her shit, getting out of dodge, and then going in for when she's out of an attack?
Once I learned the dodge stuff, getting through the fight, specifically like if you're using a bat. Well, even then, I was doing the dodging with the bat and just kicking the shit out of her. It went by really fast. It definitely went. The fight went by a lot faster and more consistently once I knew the dodging.
Okay.
But also, that's going back to the point about this game specifically, that like there are a lot of things where you don't need to do it, but if you do it, that's kind of like the reward of playing the game over and over again. I would say that probably falls more close to that camp, but it definitely made the fight easy. Like I could, for the most part, consistently be here without dying.
Right.
Is so like I could go through that level without getting any older, which I think is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So I think it was worth it.
That's a problem level. That's still a problem level.
It took me a while before I could actually get through that level without dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks cool. It looks really cool
on normal difficulty, hard. I still can't get through that level without dying. That bit's just difficult. But with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to say, she can stick people there for a while, and it ain't even so much sticking people there for a while. It's the purpose. It's the point of you need to be able to get through her level without dying, so you can get to the next level and not have to worry about being a decrepit old bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be able to smooth. Like that's what I loved about this game. Just the agent mechanic was just so fucking dope, because either you got good or you're not gonna beat the game.
Right.
You had to be able to live. You could brute force some shit, but sometimes there's no brute force in it. You have to kind of just get through without actually aging.
Yeah.
Are we done with the museum? You guys want to move on to the tower?
Yeah.
Okay, so the tower. Let's talk about this place.
Man, fuck this place.
This is one of my most hated levels. I feel like they kind of like just. I wouldn't say it, compared to every other level that we've played before. We're not talking about the ending and all the other shit, but compared to every other level that we played thus far,
it's easily the least memorable one.
It's the least memorable,
most corny.
And then it is pretty fucking corny compared to the other ones. The tower was it was just a slog.
Yeah.
To me, I just felt like it was a slog compared to every other level.
You can skip half of it at least. You can skip half of it.
Yeah, once you get the shortcut. Like you can
once
get
you get that
directly
shortcut
into the basement cave.
The corny part. Shortcut to the shit.
Yeah, and like the final boss, it's like once you learn that you dodge or block 3 of her attacks, like 1 combo, which is 3 hits, and then you bum rush her. Like once you figure out that, she's not a bad boss. She's not a hard boss.
I would say arguably, probably aside from the first boss, I would say she's like the second easiest boss.
Yeah,
in the game.
It's like she's not compared to the first boss, right? First boss is fun to fight.
Boss. Yeah, she's not fun to fight.
She's not
4th level boss, like especially compared to that 3rd boss.
Yeah, definitely.
Like this is definitely a big drop in difficulty, but like everything leading up to her gives me fucking diarrhea.
Oh yeah. Like I guess she if you think of it like from a story perspective, like not even any knowledge, just looking at it, it's like, okay, she's the CEO, like her strength is in the amount of people she can buy and have in front of her, and it's like, okay, that makes sense in that way. But it's like, you know, I have to give the caveat that, oh, you know, you're not making a 4th level boss, you're making a person that's on the 4th level. I don't know.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, I gotta play this.
Yeah.
I'm playing this.
Exactly.
And like the whole, like, I know we talked about it before, but the whole, you know, the bell goes off and the whole like place gets hit with that aura thing, or like when you see the shine, or like that golden shine go through the place, like, oh, that looks cool, but then it's all dusty and you can't see shit. But they can see you perfectly.
Yeah.
And this game is not built on audio cues. So it's like so pretty much it just results in me just running. When the moment the dust kicks up, I just run for a second to make sure that I'm away from everyone else, or what I think is away from everyone else.
Yeah.
And then it goes away, I continue fighting. But I also found that this was the place where the camera issues were easily at its worst.
Because you're always
like,
I would have to
you're in a
agree.
small chamber. Yeah, you're in a small chamber. Especially, I think, like the last chick that you fight, the one with the staff.
Oh yeah.
I found that pretty much even, and this is a problem that happened in Sekiro too, and like the mod I played, I forgot the name of it already, but where you would have enemies that would keep doing combos, and things just that naturally when you're blocking, you just get pushed back just a smidge.
Yeah.
But then the thing is that they just keep fucking attacking you, and you keep blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you're just inevitably gonna get pushed back to the wall, and you can't see dick.
These characters they blocked a lot. A lot. These particular characters blocked a whole lot. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, when you're in these narrow hallways, and I know exactly what chick Fitz is talking about. Is she's like sitting behind, like in front of a furnace or some shit with a fucking staff pole. That chick kicked my ass twice, and I was just like, this, and it was only once because of the camera. Second time that was on me, but like I'm just like, okay, and I didn't really pay attention. This is why you gotta pay attention to your surroundings. There's fucking poles on the wall.
All over the wall.
Yeah, so if you just grab one of those, you can easily just beat her ass. But you know, it was just obnoxious. But that last boss, not the last boss, that the tower boss, I wasn't. This level could have. Nothing's gonna be perfect. There's always gonna be something. So this level was just that something.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It wasn't entertaining, and it was kind of just like a slog.
Also, just like it's a small thing, but when you have to replay levels, and what the point of the game is to replay it, small things become very, very annoying. And those two parts with that NPC or that woman, and then there's like the woman before her, where they force you to walk slow when you walk into the room, so they can like espouse some hippie shit to you while you're walking into the room.
You dodge forward. You can.
Yeah, but you keep mashing dodge forward, and it looks stupid. And it's like, bro, just let me run. Just let me run up to them. Like, I'm not doing this. But they force you to stop and slow down and mash dodge every time.
Yeah.
Which it gets annoying. Like, I'm okay with enemies being harder. That's fine, because, you know, like, the game only has 5 levels, so, like, you know, you're almost at the end.
Yeah.
It's just like that coupled with the you can't see things, coupled with small rooms, so the camera bones you. God, I do not.
It's
Easily my
like
least favorite part.
you're fighting against the game, not the people, you know?
It doesn't feel like a mastery of like the combat applies here.
Yeah.
It's
As far as story mode thing goes, this is like the first level, as if you're naturally progressing, killing all these dudes. This is where it's like, oh, here's some justification of why they're doing things. This is the first time you see it, because you see, you know, they have their own FBI board, and then the disciple is like, your father was not good either, and well, he wasn't good enough. So that's where you get the first inkling of like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, everybody that you fought always has something to say about your Sifu.
Yeah, and then when you come back and find like a secret in a chest or something, not a chest, a safe on the wall, You just realize that, oh, this is the company that all of their income is straight charity shit. Like they're huge because they're selling this miracle drug, but also they're giving away this miracle drug, and this is what facilitates the helping of mass amount of people. So that's on like that's one of the last.
So basically,
you find.
Basically, we just went around fucking up people who were actually making the world a better place.
Yeah, and that's what you have to deal with by the end of it, right? Which is why, you know, on your second playthrough, you know, your spoilers, you can save people. Like, you cannot kill these people. And I'll get to that after we talk about the final boss, and then I'll go over everything, because there's like a point to it. There's a whole overarching thing through this whole Sifu game that you only find out if you get the true ending, and it's like, then you have to go to Google. Then you have to go to Google.
Okay, so moving on to the last area. How did you guys feel about this area?
It was funny that you could beat up random dudes doing yoga.
Mm-hmm.
There was like the one disciples teaching everybody yoga, and says, everybody step aside. Like, my first playthrough, I thought all of them were gonna fuck me up, so I preemptively just started bashing into them. And then on my second time through the level, I was like, oh, these guys don't attack me. Oops.
I never touched them in the beginning.
Yeah,
I noticed a lot more people in this level had a lot more weapons, bro.
Oh yeah. Because it's you look at
it's
it.
It's a dojo.
So that's what you think. That's what you think when you first go into it, right? You think, oh, this is a dojo. This is where he teaches his own disciples to kick ass and do all this stuff.
But it's actually a medical facility as well?
But it's actually a medical facility, rehab center.
I thought so.
And all those people doing yoga, they're not learning, you know, they're not disciples learning new shit. They're doing it for their own health benefit, because there's a lot of sick people in this place.
Just make me feel worse. Just make me feel worse about those people I beat up during yoga. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. It's like your first playthrough is like, oh, this is dojo. This is, if I kill people here, it's, you know, they were just gonna be enemies if I left them alive, you know? No, they're just old sick people. No, they're helping. Yeah, you find out that it's this is the treatment center. This is the main treatment center of everybody. This is where the machete dude, the botanist, this is where he has his own room, and this is where you get the key to his safe, where you find out his backstory, that he was like severely sick, and this is where they treated him. And then the doctor, he get a doctor note saying that, oh, your recovery is going super well, even though you were terminal at some point.
Hence why they call it the sanctuary. Got it.
Yep. Can I think of there's a lot of optional areas in this place. Like, there's a restaurant as soon as you go in that you don't have to go into ever, but it has an upgrade point. And then there's another place that you can, like, there's another place with an upgrade point that you can just go out the door and then go into the final courtyard before the final boss. But if you go past, you will get another piece of equipment, investigation tools. And when I say a lot, there's two things. There's two optional areas where you get stuff in, but it's like, you know, it's like as far as mazes go in this game, yeah, I would say like this is one. I wouldn't call it a maze against anything else, but against itself, like there's a lot of stuff that you can find here. Yeah.
I thought as a final level, this place was boring. I understood the story. Like, I understood that it was, so the part I didn't understand was that this was some kind of like rehab facility thing. Mm-hmm. I got that when I played it. It's just that, like, to me, I really saw like the museum as like the high point.
Yeah.
and then I felt like we kind of just went down after that. And so I understand why this one was like the peaceful, serene thing. But just like me, once again, when you like taking into account that like when I play this game, it's just like I want to play through this game and like fuck shit up. And I got to this part, I'm just like, all right, where's the part where like this all goes to shit, right? like everything went on fire in the club. And then in the museum, everything just got weirder and weirder and weirder as you went. I'm like, and even in the tower, as much as I didn't like that level, once you head you're underground and like the bells going off, and even though it's annoying from a gameplay perspective, it's like visually interesting because I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like, why are we? And then you have to like drop down all the way to the fucking abyss to fight that lady. I found that very interesting with this level, and I get like story wise, I understand the point. But gameplay wise, or me just playing, I'm just like, yeah, it's a fun level, and then you get fucking diddled 6 ways from Sunday by the final boss. But like,
final boss,
and like it's tough. And the thing I will say with this level is that it's definitely a thing when it comes to like the enemy mix-ups. I don't know if it's the hardest one. I feel like the 4th level is just because of you not being able to see in the rooms. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's the hardest. But this one, I like the challenge of the level. I just wish that it properly led into what they were going to end it on. Because like, for those who don't know, random Elden Ring bring up, but like, I don't like Millennium Elden Ring for these reasons. Mm-hmm. So while this guy I don't find as egregious as that, the game does not really like, you don't fight anyone near this. It's like, reserves a right to fuck you up type shit like this guy.
right?
But you guys go on about that.
Fighting this dude is a problem. It's a real problem. So there's a challenge mode, right? Once you beat the game, there's challenge things. One of the challenges is to not do any damage to this dude, but to beat him. So all you have to do is perfect parry, and it builds up their stun gauge. This is the only boss who recovers stun gauge at like a stupid level. So you have to bait his attack, so he's constantly attacking you, and then you have to perfect parry his stuff. But if you're doing that, like as you learn, there's like a certain move you can bait out of him, which is like the flurry of blows things. That's like super easy compared to everything else to perfect parry, because all you're doing is mashing every one of his attacks, and you pretty much can mash it and get it every time. That builds up his stagger bar like significantly. When I first beat him, that one, I like replayed the game, and I think I got to him at like age 40. And even then he wiped me out. I had to play the game again. I had to play the level again. He just kept on taking lives from me.
Yeah, no, he's brutal. He's brutal.
He's really difficult.
I like that the last boss is the hardest thing in the game, because I feel like that's how it should always be.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not ready.
Yeah, you're not ready.
So my thing is it possible? Because I'm sure someone has done it. Probably just go through the whole game without actually aging at all.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
The fucking look at me. You're sweaty. Stop.
I am sweating and I am looking at you, but that was not me who did that.
Final boss. Shit. Anything specific other than than like when I I figured out the final boss. Like for me, the third at this point in my life and where I'm at in my life, I can beat the final boss more consistently than I could the third boss.
Okay. All right.
Because I stopped dodging his attacks and I started perfect parrying. Because there's no point in dodging his attacks. He has too many attacks, and his openings between them, they're always going to be the same. You can only get 2 hits in. So perfect parrying at least builds up his stun gauge, right? And you do no damage, and you can mash a lot of his flurries because they're so fast, and one right after another. And if you learn like his timings, there's one combo string where he goes ba 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 ba. That last one you have to dodge to actually get a hit off. But it's like that one's the most annoying. But every other one is pretty much like ba 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 brrrra, and you're just tapping it. It's again, I can more consistently than the third boss for me personally, beat him, because I like third boss. I just get impatient on her first one. On her first phase, I just get too impatient. Yeah. So block his attacks, perfect parry his attacks instead of dodging them, because like he recovers too fast for you to do any damage, and it's just getting him to the stun state, even though he has recovering stun shit. If you don't have anything more to add, I'll go into the final, like the...
We can go into the final.
Yeah. All right. So, you find out there's a healing clinic. There's a health clinic. It's not a dojo. All right. So, when the only way to spare, it's called spare this boss, is you have to spare all the four other bosses in the same run. So you can't like spare them one time and then kill the next boss and then go back and spare the second boss. It has to be in the same run. Because you unlock, when you go through the second to last room, you investigate and you open up like symbols on the wall that makes him spareable. So the way you spare people is you get them to their second phase, and on the second phase you have to get their stagger bar full to where they're finishable, but don't finish them. And then you need to get their stagger bar full a second time, and then you have the option to spare them.
Damn, I did not know that. I ain't spare nobody. Everybody got the hands.
So, the overarching story. When you kill for the first time, when you beat the game for the first time, the ending is you sitting in a red, dark room like this, just like contemplating all your things. And then you hear the voice of your Sifu, right? He's saying the same words that he says to the disciple, your brother, quote unquote. In the beginning of the game, he says, "You strayed from the path. You are not welcome here anymore. You disappoint me." All that, right? So you hear that, and you're like, "Oh, he said that in the beginning," but like, is he just remembering that, or is he going through his head like, "I failed my master in some way, even in the end," right? So it's not like the master. He's not recalling the master saying it to the disciple. It's the master in his passing saying it to him that you've done the wrong thing, right? So you go through the game again. You spare all the bosses. The final boss is the sparing is so you spare him, right? But he keeps on attacking, and he takes your revive coins away. But he keeps on attacking you, and you go into a third phase of the fight. This phase, you have infinite health, and he does not stop attacking you. He just does not stop attacking you. And then eventually you stun him enough, and you take him out, and the final cutscene plays where like you do the fist, and you're about to punch him in the heart, but you don't follow through. You just punch him, and he's looking at you like, you could have killed me, but you didn't. And then you die. Right?
What?
Yeah.
Hero.
Yeah. So, and then he's like standing over your body, and you die. The screen goes black. And then you wake up in like China, because it's,
All right.
you know where all those mountains are? The narrow and tall mountains. I don't know if you've ever seen them. It's like there's a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've watched Kung Fu Panda, they fight on him.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's a real place. So so you get to the top. You get to the top, and you're there. You're overlooking all these mountains and a dragon in the background. And you stand on this platform, and then you hear your Sifu in your head. It's like, this is
Pussy.
No, hold on. I gotta
See, that's funny.
I gotta look up the word. So he says, this is the true path of the Wude. All right. So what the fuck is Wude? This is where Google comes in. All right. So Wude, WUDE, is martial arts morality. So like in the culture, you're supposed to like avoid conflict. You're not learning to fight. You're learning inner peace and all that stuff. So this is what it's supposed to allude to. I assume so. That like the wood of the martial art that what was the martial arts name? Bak Mei, right? Is that the way you defeat your opponent is like striking really fast like lightning and having your opponent know that you can fuck them up no problem, but you don't do it.
Oh, that Sigma male grind said, okay, I get it.
Yeah. So like, which goes into like the way you spare everybody. It's like, this is my interpretation. I don't know exactly. I don't know like but it's like, they killed your Sifu. You want revenge, but you have a code to follow. So you want the people to know that, hey, I'm hurting. You hurt me. This is what you did. You can't just do good deeds to wipe your past clean. You have to feel what I feel. So as you're sparing all these people, the final ends with how you kill them, but it's just a passive move. So like for the botanist, right? When you spare him, like when you kill him, you take the machete and you slice off his head. When you spare him, you take the machete and he's like shocked, like he knows he's about to die, but you just let him go and he collapses to the ground like, you could have killed me. I am beyond defeated, right? Like,
now I gotta go back and play this game because I didn't spare anybody.
Yeah, it's really good. Like he's just beyond defeated. And then you gain the cutscene at the end of the level is you get one of his plants. You get a token from him, right? The second boss, when you kill him, you put him on the floor and then you whack the shit out of him with a staff, right? When you spare him, you knock him on the floor and you whack the shit out of him with a staff. But then the cutscene plays later. It cuts to the staff hit the floor next to him and just smash the floor up. And he's like, "Oh, I'm beyond defeated. Like, I can't beat you, and you're the better man for not killing me. Like, you're just completely defeated." And that's the same thing for number 3, the artist fight. When you kill her, you stab her with her own kunai, and she's dead. With this one, when you spare her, you stab her with the kunai, but you don't stab her. It's just your fist where you could have stabbed her. And she's like, "Oh, you defeated me. Like, I can't beat you. You've spared me. You're the better person."
Yeah.
Which is, that's not what they did. They strayed from the path. They killed the Sifu to get their way. And then I guess it's their realization of what they've done and, complete and utter defeat. Same shit happens with the lady. And when you regularly kill her, you strangle the shit out of her with her own weapon. This one, you go to strangle her, but you let her go. She's defeated. Oh, you're better than me. And it's like the disciple one is interesting to me because even when you spare him, he keeps on attacking. meaning he's not redeemable. Everyone else is defeated. He's just so angry that he can't be redeemed. And like, you have to sacrifice your own life to stay on the path. Like, there's no getting through to this dude.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I assume this is what it's all alluding to. What the overarching plot of Sifu is really just forgiveness and attaining this, following the path. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
No. Yeah. I would never have found that out.
Never, ever, never at all.
I like story shit.
I like the story.
I like the story. Well done. Well done. All in all, how would you guys feel about this game? Like, what did y'all
It's a fucking indie game, bro. Like,
it's indie?
That's an indie game, bro. It's a like. I would play this over.
I know I keep saying this shit.
Anthem,
I keep saying
bro.
this shit. We gotta play. We gotta just start playing more indie games, bro.
I mean, I don't need to. I play all the indie games. I'm more, I'm more
I play the shit that I
to.
want to play.
As I rise above the floor, it's like.
Well done. Tread on me. Tread on me. It's fair.
Step on me, Daddy. What? I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, it's like kind of indie, kinda. Yeah, they didn't self-publish, kinda.
Oh, who'd they?
Like, at least I just checked the Steam page. It's like, it says publisher is them and Kepler Interactive. But it's indie enough. It's indie enough. Yeah.
And that's another thing that's like, whenever I think of graphics and they're pushing frames and all that,
this will last.
This will last way longer than any high
style.
graphics game. Because it's
it has a style.
I always prefer style over graphics because it's
I agree.
I'm still gonna play Legend of Zelda because I like the 8-bit style. I'm still gonna play Super Star Wars because it's the 8-bit style. They're not going for graphics, but it's like. What was that really graphic intensive game? It was
Crisis?
yes, to the same point. But specifically, I'm thinking of a game. It was like you were fighting werewolves in a steampunk London, and
oh my god, the Order 1886.
Order of 1886. That was graphically fucking amazing. Would not hold up now. Like I wouldn't.
No,
play
it still looks good. It still looks good. I like that gameplay of it semi recently. It still looks good. I think once we hit the PS4 generation, I would say the 360, but definitely with the PS4 generation. Once we get the PS4, Xbox One, that generation of consoles, games like I think we really, really, really hit the law of diminishing returns on with each upgrade you only get like a couple percent more as opposed to like the jump between obviously like Nintendo, like Super Nintendo's to like 32-bit and the 64-bit or whatever, and then going from like those. Yeah. But we definitely hit diminishing returns.
We have the power of hindsight, but that fucking game that's coming out, the police game, where it's a body cam. And it looks so fucking real. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, okay. I'm like, you about to fucking Yikes Simulator because I'm not talking about that. But no, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like it
looks like real body cam footage, bro. Like, maybe in 20 years, like, now we can see the fucking ethereal plane, and you're talking about graphics in 3D. It's like,
I mean, there's always going to be pushing for realistic. Like, that's always going to be a thing. It's just a shame when you see like smaller developers chase that. Like you know where you see that a lot? The like shitty indie horror games. Just like the moment Unreal Engine 5 came out, I was just like, oh my god, it's your first Unreal Engine 5 horror game, indie game. It's just like, bro, that clearly like this is like I don't know, it's like putting like makeup on a horse or something. Like it's
you see all these AAAs, like their not motto, but their path forward. I don't know what they're what you call it is. Oh, we want high frame rates and we want 4K graphics. We want this shit to look as real as possible. But it's like you're making game that will be relevant for a year. I think Sifu. I think like if I have kids, they'll play that. Because it's a stylized game. You know, it becomes timeless because it's not chasing a realistic perspective of things. It's chasing like gameplay, and it's chasing story, and it's chasing a style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a style. Like that's the main thing, is that the style first. I mean, well, the gameplay still has a like time block thing, which I'm not going to say Sekiro was the one who did it first because there were games before there, but I think it made it more popular. It still kind of like did its own thing with the gameplay, but it's just that it has a style. Because you know what, think about like,
I know
they didn't come out the same year. Maybe they did, but like, you know, the PS2 generation, Xbox was the most powerful console amongst those three, hands down.
Okay.
You know, just graphically, like graphical power, that kind of shit. The original Xbox was like the
it was the beefcake over the PlayStation 2, and then moving forward, I think the PlayStation 3 had it over the Xbox 360.
Oh,
kind of in some ways, yes, in other ways, no. It technically did, but then it like any sort of advancements it had, it took away in just being usable.
Yeah.
So, but think of like the way Halo, and I played Halo. I played through all of Halo 1 like within the past 2.5 years, whenever Halo Infinite came out. Still a solid game, still fun enough. But obviously, if you look at the way Halo 1 looks, and that game was obviously pushing for realism at the time, it looks like shit. It looks like shit.
Looks like dog shit, yeah.
Another game that came out around the same time, Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, and that's still playable.
On less powerful hardware.
And that shit
and you
look
could
good.
go back and you could look at it, and granted, like some of the doorknobs might look like they're, you know, like polygonal or something, but it doesn't matter because the ghosts, like it has style. It has style. Like I think
same thing with Paper fucking Mario on Nintendo.
Paper Mario still
like
looks
I
good.
could go back and still go play Paper Mario on Nintendo, and it still looks good. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's the stylized games that do it sometimes, that keeps the graphics up, and reason why you'll go back and play it. Like certain games have that appeal, and then certain games just don't.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if Snarfy, you're about to talk about Wind Waker versus Twilight Princess.
I wasn't gonna bring up Twilight Princess because Twilight Princess is just a trash game. But when I look at Wind Waker, like that's
came out 2-3 years before that.
That's the most visually appealing Legend of Zelda game, and it's like I compare that to the current ones. The current ones can still last way beyond the threshold because they're stylized, but like Wind Waker is
timeless. It is timeless.
Is timeless because they're not realistic representations of people. They're fucking cutesy, artsy shit. And,
like think of it like this: in every Smash Bros. Game, Link would look like the new Link.
Yeah.
Toon Link was always looks like Toon Link or something.
When you say it like that,
yeah.
Now, granted, I think they said they're done with Smash Bros. But just saying, in the future they keep making more of them. When new Zelda comes out, Link's gonna look like that.
Yeah.
Toon Link's still gonna be Toon Link. That kind of shit.
So all in all, what would you guys rate the game? I know we don't usually do ratings. I know it, but we gotta. I have to just say it's subjective, but it's still like one of them things. No sevens.
No.
We can take sevens.
No.
I mean, I'm not giving a number. You could. I'm not giving a number. I'm not giving a number.
He said I'm not giving a number.
All right, let's rate it in burritos.
Oh, y'all could give it numbers. I'm not.
No. We'll play. We'll rate it in burritos. Is this like a yummy taco burrito? Is it a Chipotle burrito, or is it like authentic Mexican restaurant?
It's an authentic Mexican restaurant burrito. We'll rate it in burritos.
Yeah. I would highly recommend that you play the game. That's it. Because now, all right, what kind of burrito is it? Cool. How many different burritos you got? Because
I fucking hate burritos.
Rice, beans, meat, cheese, rice, beans. All right.
How many tiers of burritos are you talking about? Because you mentioned 3 tiers right there. That's a
Taco
rating.
Taco Bell, yeah.
Or for that matter, somebody comes along and be like, "Oh, these fuckers are rating the burritos. I fucking hate burritos."
Yeah. I just say, Rekka, if action games are your cup of tea,
I think you should play this game.
If
I think
not,
you should play this game.
If they're not, I think there's honestly, I think there's going to be some friction because it is a demanding game.
Oh,
If you like challenge and play this game, it's
for
a
sure,
challenging
You know what?
game and it's nice.
For continuity, when we're 1,000 episodes in, just so you have a gauge of how I rate shit, this is a 9 out of 10 game for me.
Okay.
This is a 9 out of 10 game.
We'll go by our own ratings here. I'm not, like you guys, I'm saying you guys could use your numbers. Speaking of numbers, I detest the number rating system, so I don't.
I'm fine with number rating systems as long as the guy doing the number rating is consistent. So it's like, what was that donkey video? Was it a donkey video? Of a guy that just is a contrarian to everybody who rates movies.
Oh,
He wants to be that person. Yeah, I get it.
So like his rating system is valuable because he's consistent. So anything he rates a 10 is actually a 1, so he can go fuck himself. That's how you know. So like if you don't like the way I rate certain games, you know that you adjust accordingly, right?
Yeah. The way I'm looking at it is that like my idea of a 7 could change.
Your idea of a 7 is...
It could change. Or sorry, not a 7. As an 8, 9, whatever. My idea of what a number is could change over time. And if, like, let's say 1,000 episodes in, you gave, like... You give Sifu a 9, right? I don't want to use Sifu as an example because it's, like...
It is a 9.
Good.
Yeah.
It is good. I wouldn't give it a 9. But see, this is what I'm talking about. So, like...
But it's subjective. It's your based
And then I look at
on
all the other games I've given 9s, and it's just like, okay, nothing about that. Or I just say, hey man, like,
it's an 8.
like,
I agree.
you know, at least that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it, and also, it's at the end of the day, it's like if your criteria, like for example, right? We talked about High on Life. That's where we started talking numbers, right? So like High on Life, I'm like 7, you guys are 6.
Yeah.
I'm saying 7, and I'm like, hey, listen, really at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, hey, if you want to laugh and like you're down to get a laugh, play it, check it out, play it. You know, at the end, and then the thing is, at the end of the day, I could say wait for a sale, but you could have like buku bucks, and you're like, fuck, I could buy you right now if I wanted to. I'll buy the game and play whatever the fuck I want. So
I feel like if you're doing a rating system, the best way to do a rating system is if you break down the game into categories like straight gameplay, story, and like, I guess third is just like enjoyment or something.
Yeah, like fun factor.
Yeah, fun factor, like the X factor, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just doing one rating that encompasses them all. So it's like, as far as gameplay goes, it's going to get you there. It's like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Story, it's more you got to find
You
it.
have to give a shit.
You have to give a shit, so it's like a 7 out of 10. And just like the overall fun factor of your first time challenging this, I feel like it's 9 out of 10.
Yeah, like and see the thing right there is that since I went into it not caring about the story, I would give the story like a 3 because of the times it dared to stop me moving forward just to say bullshit. Like that annoys the piss out of me. But you know, that's the thing that you look out for as opposed to like, yeah, well, listen, if you like kung fu, if you like action movies, like if you'll
like this game.
Yeah, like you're gonna. This is like
I see where you're coming from.
We'd be hard pressed. I would be so shocked. Unless it came from the same fucking studio, which I remember when this game came out, everyone was like, these people need to make a fucking John Wick game now. But I imagine that there is not going to be a better video game interpretation of kung fu movies ever.
Have you played Jackie Chan Stunt Master?
I'm gonna twist your fucking nipples if you keep speaking this bullshit, man.
Jackie Chan Stunt Master. Don't mess with me again. That was a good game.
Yeah. No, it was a bad game. But
it was a good game on PlayStation.
Movies, so
on PlayStation, I loved that shit as a kid on PlayStation, but that was just me.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's ever not ever gonna be, because that's a very bold claim, but like for right now, if there's a game that wants to emulate being, you know, your like Bruce Lee, or I guess
the best one is the best game is Sifu right now. Yeah, that's as good as you're gonna get it.
Before
part
then,
past that is
Matrix Path of Neo. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say before that could have been Absolver. Like it was.
Oh yeah.
But there's nothing that comes close to it beforehand, and for something to come close again, that'd be like we talk about it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Tony. Go.
No. I was just gonna get on closing statements. It looked like we kind of got to the end of the Dusty Trail.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, take us out.
Okay. So, like all of us said here, we love the game. We think it's worth a purchase or play. I think it's like free on PlayStation, isn't it?
I mean, it's worth the purchase anyway. It's not even full price. It's not even full price.
Not even full price. So give it a try. Hey guys, where can they find you on socials? First, FistTruck.
You can find me here, FistTruck TV, where we recently what just started uploading was another Elden Ring playthrough.
Let's go.
In anticipation of DLC. You can find me on FistTruck, where today today as a recording, but whatever. A video just went up, so new video.
Nice.
And yeah, Snarf.
You can find me here and on FistTruck TV. Where can they find you, Tony?
And as for myself, you can find me at HeyyyyyTony, Hey with 5 Ys on Twitch. There are 2 other accounts with my likeness and bio posing as me. So please, it's the one with all the followers. Make sure you follow that one if you see it. And you can find me at HeyyyyyTony with 5 Ys in the Hey on YouTube as well. I'm gonna start posting some more shorts over there as time goes on. You guys have a good rest of your day, evening, morning, noon, night, whatever it is. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Toodles.